Welcome and anchor down from the Vanderbilt campus. You are listening to JT and Zeek on West End, the #1 Vanderbilt students sports podcast. We've got the Vanderbilt 2017 baseball preview for you today. Coming off of a pretty good baseball season, but by Vandy standards, it was nothing to be too excited about. We went 43-19 overall, and the season ended short amidst an emotional end of the year. Last year marked the first season since 2012 that we did not reach the 50-win mark. We hope that we can get to 50 wins again this year. And we also, in terms of some aggregate team stats, took a step back. We hit 26 fewer home runs than we did in 2015. Obviously, we played fewer games. We also batted .274 opposed to .290. The black and gold game was oddly canceled this season due to several injuries also, so we don't have stats on that, unfortunately.
Yeah, despite that, we do have information on the new players, our new hitting coach, and what to expect in 2017. First, let's quickly mention the team losses. Carl Ellison and Liam Sabino both transferred out. Tyler Green, Tristan Charia, and Ryan Johnson have all left the team. Tyler Campbell graduated. Brian Reynolds, Jordan Sheffield, Ben Bowden, and John Kilichowski all left for the draft. And you can't talk about Vandy baseball without talking about the head coach, Tim Corbin, who's a jubilant 55 years old.
Yep, this is Corbin's 15th season as our head coach. In 900 total games, he has 610 career wins. And in SEC games, he's 243 and 172. He's already established himself as one of the best SEC baseball coaches of all time. And since he's just a jubilant 55 years old, could easily see him get to 1,000 wins.
Oh, definitely. So Travis Jewett, our old hitting coach, left the team. He took the head job at Tulane. Tim Corbin wasted no time and replaced him with a really, really good hire, DJ Schlivik, former New York Yankees scout. He already lived near Nashville and has been scouting the Tennessee area and the South for a while for the Yankees, and this was viewed as a huge hire around the college baseball world.
Yeah, it's a great hire. Let's get into the freshmen that are joining the team this year. Tons to be excited about. Starting with J.J. Bleday, a 6'3" outfielder that bats and throws lefties from Panama City Beach, Florida. And he ranked the 151st best player in the entire country and the 21st best outfielder. He can throw a ball 90 miles per hour. He runs a 6'9", 60, which puts him in the 91st percentile for the entire 2016 class. He's also a good student in high school, had a 3.8 GPA, and was drafted in the 39th round of last year's draft after batting .340 his senior season.
Yeah, some people think Bleday might end up starting by the end of the season for Vanderbilt. Next guy we want to talk about, Alex Brewer. He's a 6-foot, 190-pound infielder who bats lefty from Lewisburg, Tennessee. He was ranked the 306th best player in the country, 9th best in the state of Tennessee. Graduated with a high GPA. His senior year finished with over a 400 batting average, slugged near 800, with 33 RBIs, 18 extra base hits, and he was named one of the 2 recipients for the Tennessee Mr. Baseball Award last year.
It's always good to get the in-state kids. Next, we have a catcher, Ty Duvall, 5'11", 190. He's from Lebanon, Ohio. He was the #1 prospect in the state of Ohio last year. He's also ranked the 172nd best player overall. His bat speed at contact was measured at 86 miles per hour at the Perfect Game Combine. Really impressive. He also is known to be exceptional defensively, which is great because although we were lucky to have Jason DeLay back for his senior year, he can't catch every single game, and we also need a catcher for the future.
Next guy, Drake Fellows, right-handed pitcher, 6'5". He's from Joliet Catholic Academy in Illinois, a school with rich baseball history. Kobe Fleener, NFL player, also went there. He was ranked the 3rd best prospect in Illinois, 70th best in the country. He's our lone top 100 prospect that signed with us. He's recorded 94-mile-an-hour fastball, which is the fastest recorded in the 2016 class. He throws a changeup around 80, also has a slider in his repertoire. His junior year, he had a .58 ERA, only allowed 44 hits in 73 innings, with a 98 to 11 strikeout to walk ratio. This guy has nasty stuff. Could definitely see him starting. Could even see him as the closer this year.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what he does at Vanderbilt. Bright future ahead for him. Next, we have a left-handed pitcher, Jackson Gillis from my home state, Massachusetts. He's from Wilmington, a good blue-collar town. He was the number 1 player in the state, and he can throw at 93 miles per hour. He went 7-2 his senior season last year. He had 102 strikeouts in 57 innings, though. That's really impressive, and the opponent's batting average against him was just 117. And in his repertoire, he can throw a four-seamer as well as a slider and a curve.
It's great to have a lefty coming in. Most of the guys we have coming back are righties, especially the top guys. We actually have another lefty, too, Zach King. He's 6'6", from Spring Hill, Tennessee, another one of those in-state guys. Number 7 recruit in the state. He has an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, and he's one of 3 left-handed pitchers in this class. He recorded a 1.18 ERA sophomore year, followed by a nearly identical 1.19 his junior year. If this tells me anything, it tells me that he is consistent. He led Spring Hill to its first state championship last year.
Yeah, there we go. Next, we're going to go to the infield with Harrison Ray from Longwood, Florida. He went to Lake Brantley High School, where Jason Varitek graduated from, one of my all-time favorite baseball players. He's ranked the 250th best player in the country. He's well suited to play shortstop from a fielding point of view, but he could likely be a defensive asset at any infield position. It sounds like he has an elite glove when it comes to fielding, obviously, and he also sounds like a solid line drive type hitter.
Yeah, the last lefty in the class, Michael Sanborn, 6'1", from Tampa. Went to Jesuit High School, one of the best baseball schools in the nation. They are a powerhouse. Another top 500 player, according to Perfect Game. Had an impressive 4.8 GPA in high school. I guess that must be weighted somehow, but that's extremely high.
That's good, yeah.
Definitely sounds like a true student athlete. Not going to struggle in the classroom at Vandy. Mid-90s fastball, good control. Scouts praised his breaking ball. He struggled with a back injury that kept him out his senior year. We're not sure what the status is on that, but once Sanborn gets going, he's going to be a force in the SEC.
Yeah, we have one more freshman joining the team, this time a right-handed pitcher from Lebanon, Indiana. 2 players from towns called Lebanon, one in Indiana, one in Ohio.
That's what you like to say.
Yeah. Schaller was a number 4 prospect in his state, 218th in the country. He can hit 94 miles per hour. And Perfect Game said he has a calm and poised delivery on the mound. Schaller was also a football player in high school, a rare combo in today's age of specialization. So it's not far-fetched to assume that he'll make a lot of progress now that he'll be focusing solely on baseball in the top baseball program in the country.
So that's a lot of talent we have coming in. Like we said, another top 10 class. Tim Corbin is a great recruiter. Class would have been even better if those top few guys in the draft decided to come. But when you have these guys, all of these top recruits committed to Vanderbilt, you are going to lose some to the draft. That doesn't really matter. We have a bunch of talent coming back, and we're going to start with the pitchers.
Yeah, let's get to Kyle Wright. It's a lock to be the day 1 starter. He's also projected to be a top 5 pick. If he has a great season, he could slide into that 1 or 2 spot depending on whether that top team wants a pitcher. And he'll possibly become the best pitcher to come out of Vanderbilt. That definitely is a bold statement with the likes of David Price and Sonny Gray. But he has some nasty stuff, 4 or 5 different pitches, 2 different arm angles, over a strikeout per inning. He's a true ace.
Yeah, Wright is really the only lock to start. The next few guys we're going to talk about, we could see starting or coming out of the bullpen. Patrick Raby became the 3rd starter last year alongside Wright and Sheffield by the end of the season. Doesn't throw very hard, but has good control. He'd struggle as he got deep into games, usually really good in the early innings, and then kind of lost it a couple times in the 5th and 6th. Didn't really lose it too often, though. He had a 2.61 ERA in 15 appearances, 10 of which were starts. Like we said, could see him anywhere from being the number 2 starter behind Wright to being a long reliever, setup guy, really anything.
Yeah, and the same could be said of Matt Rupenthal, who was mainly a setup guy who pitched in long relief last season. He has what we'd consider one of the nastiest curveballs we have ever seen in person, tons of movement on it. He's also able to throw it a ton. A lot of pitchers can only throw the curveball occasionally in the game. He throws it a lot, and he uses it to set up his low to mid-90s fastball. He had trouble with control a little bit last year, which was his biggest knock. 27 walks in 47 innings is a little bit too much, but he also led the team with a 150 batting average against. That's extremely impressive. When he has his control, he's absolutely untouchable. There are some games at the end of the season where he'd go 4 to 6 innings, and some would just come into just a pitch in an inning. But we won't be surprised to see Rupee as a starter, a closer, or anything in between. High potential with that kid.
Yeah, such a good curveball. Really fun to watch if you have the chance to sit behind the plate and see how much that moves. Next guy we're going to talk about, Chandler Day. He's a sophomore. He's supposed to be one of the top picks in the 2018 draft. Throws in the mid-90s, hits 95 on his fastball, struck out over a batter an inning last year. He gets his control down a little more, gets a little bit more comfortable. He could be really, really good. I assume that he's going to be a starter for us, could definitely be one of the weekend starters, and besides Wright, might have the highest ceiling of any pitcher on the team.
Yeah, for sure. Another wild card with high potential is Maddox Conger, who actually had the lowest ERA on the team last year, .79. Obviously, that was just in 11 innings, but he's a guy that we could really see step it up this year, could be a big piece out of the bullpen.
Next guy, Colin Snyder's key part of the bullpen last year. Corbin said he was going to be the tough situations pitcher before the season, had a 2.57 ERA in 35 innings. He got into a lot of games. Maybe he'll be the closer. Corbin might want one of the freshmen who has nastier stuff, but Snyder's really reliable. Expect to see him playing a big role again.
Yeah, and two other guys are returning for their second years are Joey Abraham and A.J. Franklin. So, overall, pitching rotation, lots of questions. We know we have the talent, high potential there. It's really difficult to determine who's going to start at the beginning of the season, who's going to start at the end of the season, who's going to be more of a reliever or closer. But we like what we have. They just need to realize their potential.
Yeah, competition usually brings out the best in players, so this might turn out to be a good thing that there aren't many defined roles yet. All the guys on the team pretty much want to be the weekend starters, want to be the closer. They're all going to be competing. We have the talent, and we think it's going to turn out really great. So we're done talking about the pitchers for now. Let's get into the hitters. First guy we want to talk about, Jeren Kendall.
Yep, he is the elephant in the room, Jeren Kendall. Obviously, one of the top 5 picks if he keeps it up. Plays as well as he did last year. I remember after the first weekend series last year, I said he's going to be the first pick in the 2017 draft. I'm gonna stand by my prediction. He's coming off of a team high 332 batting average last season. He also had 9 home runs and a team high of 59 runs batted in. So other than Brian Reynolds, in the past 2 seasons, he has the most RBIs in those 2 seasons combined. And if he had played every game his freshman year, he probably would have led the team in RBIs in the past 2 years combined. Additionally, he has a great arm, excellent speed, just all-around good fielder. He doesn't have a single weakness that I know of. Maybe he strikes out a little too much. Other than that, he's a top guy.
That's really all you could point to with Kendall. He strikes out slightly too much, but he's an athletic beast. Wins the Omaha Challenge when we do it every year. Most athletic guy on the team, might also be the strongest guy on the team. Super high ceiling, already has very few holes in his game. Next guy we're going to talk about, Will Toffey. Toffey's been locked into third base ever since his freshman season, and despite a slight sophomore slump from the plate by most hitting measures, he did have a .387 on-base percentage last year, just higher than his freshman season, and this was 4th best among our main starters last year. He was up there among the leaders in the whole NCAA in walks. Struck out much less than Reynolds and Kendall. That said, Toffey could use an improved junior season in the basic hitting measures of batting average and show some more power because he really did not hit for power last year. Hit for more power his freshman year than his sophomore year. But we're confident that after a good summer, Toffey's going to be back. He's going to be a force hitting in either probably that 3 or 5 spot, maybe even clean up at the top of the lineup.
Yeah, let's not forget that Toffey was a top 100 prospect for last year's MLB draft going into the season, and so obviously he didn't fulfill what people expected from him, but there's a new year, new possibilities, and he can easily have a great season. Next person we got to talk about is Ethan Paul. There's one thing about Ethan Paul. This kid can hit. He batted .305 last year as just a freshman. He had the team's 3rd best slugging percentage, and in last year's preseason preview, we projected this kid to be a very strong player. We hit that one right. We're more interested, though, in seeing if he's even capable of being a fielder this year. He's likely going to be in the DH role. He struggled at shortstop last season. It may have been a mental thing. It may have been an ability thing. It'll be interesting to see if he ever plays in the field this season or if we keep him at the DH.
Definitely hits well enough to be the DH. Next guy, Alonzo Jones. Alonzo entering his sophomore year. Last year, he had the highest stolen base percentage among our starters. He was 10 of 12. We hope to see him more aggressive on the base pass this year because he might be the fastest player that we've ever had. He might be even faster than Jeren. And he had a very solid batting average of 285. He's a switch hitter. He can hit to all fields. He can hit for power. Alonzo's definitely a guy, very high upside. He's going to hear his name called really, really early in the 2018 draft when he comes out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he ran a 6'1", 60-yard dash
That's
in high
ridiculous.
school. Absolutely insane. Next guy is a shortstop, Connor Kaiser. Hit really well at the end of the season last year. Overall, batted 261. He's a good pro prospect, though. He's long, 6'4", has an unbelievable glove, just good all-around fielder. Had a 970 fielding percentage last season, which I think placed him as the best infielder on the team.
Yeah, Connor Kaiser's a really good fielder. I think he made one error his entire senior year of high school, something ridiculous like that. Another guy from that loaded recruiting class we had last year, Julian Infante, had 6 bombs and only 22 starts last year, batted around 260, but should be our best power hitter this season, and he'll start at first base. He hits monster home runs. We thought that the couple times that Kyle Smith connected last year that he hit bombs, Infante hits the ball further. He rings them off the batter's eye, hits to all fields. He's going to be an absolute beast healthy this year.
Yeah, he's going to be one of the funnest players to watch for sure. We also have Jason DeLay back. It's huge to have a catcher back. Not going to start every single game. That's just too difficult for that position. But it's good to know he's back. And also Walker Grisanti, who we think may play the left field this year, batted 349 last year with a 481 on-base percentage. Obviously, it was just 43 at-bats, so a somewhat small sample size. But in those at-bats, he took advantage of it.
Yeah, you mentioned Grisanti. The biggest question, as in who's going to play, are both of the corner outfield spots. We're going to get into the lineup in a little bit, but it seems like the infield is locked in. Jeren Kendall is likely going to play center. But yeah, Grisanti's a guy who could play left. Was one of the best hitters on the team last year, just didn't see that many at-bats. Another guy coming back, Ro Coleman. You know what you're going to get with Ro. He's going to get on base. He's going to try to steal bases when he does. Tough. He's had some tough moments early in the year in the field. Became a lot more comfortable as the year went on, though, out there and left, mainly fielding off the wall. And he's a guy who could play left again.
Yeah, for sure.
Lastly, Steven Scott. He tore it up in summer ball. He could play right field. He got some time last year. Didn't do great, but also didn't see that many at-bats. He's a guy who looks like, you see him in person, he's built. He could hit for some power. We think that he'll get a shot out there and right, and maybe J.J. Blade, the freshman, also might get a chance out there and right.
Yeah, so we've mentioned most of the guys that we believe have a good chance of starting. Now we're going to place them in order of where we think they may bat in the lineup. So we believe the leadoff hitter this year will be Alonzo Jones.
Yeah, we have Alonzo playing second base. Next up, Jeren Kendall. You could see Jeren pretty much batting anywhere at the top of the order, but Jeren Kendall batting second in center field.
Yeah, and then we have Ethan Paul batting third, so we're going to have back-to-back lefty hitters in the 2-3. Ethan Paul we're putting at the DH.
Next up, Julian Infante hitting cleanup. Going to hit a lot of bombs, and we love him in that spot.
Yeah, fifth, we have Will Toffee, who will obviously be playing third base again.
Sixth, we have Walker Grisanti. Would love to see what he does with more at-bats this season. And if he can produce anything like he did last year, he's going to be a beast.
Yeah, 7, we have Jason DeLay, who will be playing catcher.
8th, we have Steven Scott in right.
And 9, we have Connor Kaiser, who will be playing shortstop.
We really like this lineup. It's a good mix of speed and power. We think it'll be more similar to, of course, the lineup we had last year than the lineup we had 2 years ago, where it was guys hitting a lot of bombs. But you have Alonzo and Jeren in the top 2 spots of the lineup. They're going to get on. They're going to steal bases. They're going to create havoc, put pressure on the other pitchers for guys like Paul, Toffee, Infante to bring them in. And, yeah, with that, let's look at some of the games we have.
Yeah, the season starts off at San Diego. That's a beautiful place to start the baseball season.
Oh, yeah.
3-game series. Or February 17th will be the first one through the 19th. And then the first home game will be against Evansville on February 22nd.
There were some big home series this year, as we do every year playing in the SEC. The SEC is loaded for baseball. Our first SEC series is on the road at Ole Miss, but later on we have a home series against Texas A&M, against preseason top 5 team in Florida, against Tennessee as well.
Yeah, we have 2 games that are going to be on ESPN2. It's really rare that college baseball makes it on one of the main 2 ESPN channels. Obviously, there will be games on the SEC network, but we have on ESPN2 one of the games at South Carolina.
They're supposed to be really good this year, too.
Yeah. We could, if we both have great seasons, we could both be top 5. We also have a home game against Florida that will be on ESPN2. Another team that could be top 5.
Yeah, we're really excited for the season to start. Going to definitely get out there for that home opener against Evansville. We'll be out there for most of the SEC games as well. We think that this can be a better year than last year, and if we make it into Omaha again, if we make it into the College World Series as we usually do, who knows? We get to Omaha, we make some noise. Tim Corbin knows how to get it done. He knows how to get his guys to perform in the clutch.
Yeah, we like what we have this year. It's Vanderbilt baseball. We reload better than any other program in the nation. You never know what you're going to get in terms of whether it'll be the top team in the country or the 25th, but we'll be somewhere in that range, and we're excited to see what these kids can do.
We are, and with that, anchor down.
Thank you, and anchor down.